me. Working on it.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 3 of Lên Tần by bangtruyenthong. This is the podcast where we dive deep into stories about international communications from the past and explore their connections with today's world. I'm Phuong Nam, and today we're discussing one of the most intriguing and relevant topics, the spread of fake news and propaganda during the Crusades. We'll explore how misinformation crossed borders, fueled conflict, and manipulated people back then, and draw comparisons to our current information age. It's surprising how many parallels we find, despite the centuries between us. Are we still as vulnerable to manipulation as we were in medieval times? Let's explore. The Crusades, taking place from the late 11th to the 13th centuries, were a turbulent series of religious wars between Christians and Muslims, though they eventually involved various groups of alliances. Initially, Pope Urban II called for the First Crusade in 1095, rallying European Christians to reclaim Jerusalem from Muslim control. What's interesting is the intense use of propaganda to rally the faithful. Religious and political leaders used carefully crafted messages to ignite fervor, sometimes spreading exaggerated or outright false stories to strengthen support. A key to understanding this period is to look at the underlying motivations. While religious devotions was a factor, many crusaders were drawn by promises of wealth, adventure, and spiritual rewards. Leaders manipulated this by spreading dramatic stories of Christian suffering or miracles to justify their mission. In one notable case, clergy members spread accounts of Muslim atrocities, many of which were based on rumor or hearsay rather than fact. Much like the fake news we see today, these stories spread quickly and were hard to verify. People relied on what they were told by religious and noble authorities, and questioning those narratives was almost unheard of. For many, the Crusades seemed like a righteous cause, an opportunity to defend their faith and receive divine favor. These incentives, combined with the powerful storytelling, made people susceptible to manipulation. Fake news was, in a sense, a powerful motivator, and one that crossed borders at a time when communication was incredibly slow compared to today. But how exactly did these rumors and propaganda spread in the medieval world? Remember, this was a time without printing presses, let alone the internet. Messages moved through sermons, letters, and oral storytelling. The clergy played a particularly influential role. Sermons at Sunday Mass, for example, were opportunities for priests to inform or perhaps misinform their congregations about the causes of the Crusades, the nobility of their mission, and the terrible deeds of the infidels. One story that stands out is the tale of the Holy Lance. Supposedly, during the First Crusade, this sacred relic, a spear believed to have pierced the side of Jesus, was found by a monk in Antioch. The monk claimed he had a vision of where to find it, and upon discovering it, he convinced the weary crusaders that it would ensure victory in battle. Whether the Holy Lands was genuinely believed to be authentic or not, its sudden appearance was suspiciously well-timed and effective. It reinvigorated the troops, boosting morale and the sense of divine purpose. This is a powerful early example of propaganda shaping the course of events. Other tales circulated about the supposed brutality of Muslim forces, often unverified or sensationalized to stoke hatred and fear. This propaganda functioned much like today's fake news, as it evoked strong emotional responses, turning people against a common enemy. Back then, information took weeks or months to spread, yet it still had an impact because people couldn't easily fact-check what they heard. They trusted the church and nobility as the primary sources of truth. A historian once noted that medieval propaganda thrived on the absence of proof. When sources were limited, stories, especially those that seemed to fulfill a religious or moral purpose, had immense power over public opinion. Fast forward nearly 1,000 years to today's digital age. In many ways, modern fake news is an evolution of the techniques used during the Crusades, but it operates on an entirely different scale. Where the clergy and nobility once held a monopoly on information, we now have social media platforms where anyone can share and create content. Stories, true or false, spread within seconds, amplified by algorithms that prioritize engagement over accuracy. Social media giants have developed systems that reward sensationalism. Studies have shown that emotionally charged stories are more likely to go viral, reaching millions within minutes. The implications of this are profound. Misinformation and sensationalized news are more accessible than ever. Just like in the Crusades, these stories play on our emotions, exploiting fear, anger, or even hope to manipulate our beliefs. One recent example is the spread of fake news during elections or global health crisis. Just as Crusaders were convinced to find based on exaggerated tales or religious oppression, modern audiences are often swayed by unverified news, from deepfakes to misinformation campaigns. The digital age has perfected the speed and reach of propaganda in ways medieval authorities could only dream of. Now, algorithms serve as modern clergy, promoting content that aligns with users' beliefs, creating echo chambers where misinformation thrives. A recent survey revealed that over half of people have difficulty distinguishing between credible news and fake news on social media. This modern phenomenon mirrors the unverified stories spread by Crusade-era leaders who took advantage of limited information to push their agendas. And what can we learn from this comparison? Both then and now, people are susceptible to persuasive stories, especially those that align with their beliefs or emotions. In Middle Ages, it was tales of holy relics and supposed atrocities that stirred people to action. Today, it's tweets, memes, and videos. The mediums have changed, but the mechanisms of influence remain strikingly similar. This teaches us that we need to approach information critically. In an era where we're constantly bombarded with information, it's crucial to develop media literacy skills. We can learn from history by actively questioning sources, looking beyond headlines, and seeking multiple perspectives. The stories that manipulated Crusaders were harder to verify, but in today's world, we have more tools than ever to do so. Let's use them wisely and resist letting information dictate our perceptions and actions. Thank you for joining us on Lên Tần. We hope this look at cross-border fake news during the Crusades and today's digital world offered you new perspectives on how stories shape our world. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe and don't forget to follow us on social media platforms for updates and more historical insights. Until next time, remember, question what you hear, think critically, and keep uncovering the truth.